Hello, I am Naomi. My channel is Naomi's Ellipses, and welcome back to a new art video. You might ask yourself, why is she drawing over and over ugly N and O's? Because today is the day. We are designing our blind box. We've drawn our 7th characters and it's time to give them a box to live in. But wait, let's explain the concept for the people who just arrived. It makes over 7 weeks that we have been designing 7 characters for the blind box. All the characters are based on an animal deemed ugly in our society. Each animal represents a certain type of beauty. And now that we've designed all the characters, it is time to design the box. So today's video is going to be a little bit different than the others. Here is what we are going to do. First, we are going to look at some already existing blind box to get some creativity going. Then I'm going to have to design the logo. And once the logo is designed, it will be time to design the blind box. But before we go, please consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Okay, let's finish this collection. Let's go. So, I'm going to be honest. The research part was the easiest one of them all. I just scrolled on Google and that was it. The only thing I hadn't figured out yet was how to call the collection. I had no idea really how to call this, but as you can see, a lot of them have a different language as a title. I think that's simply because a lot of blind box are coming from China and the title is in Mandarin, I'm guessing. That gave me the idea to put the title of our collection in another language as well, but I do not speak Mandarin. At first I thought, let's put it in French. But then I feel a lot of time we use French for not really any reasons. So how about another language? But I needed a language that was not overused and that I guess I could still make sure that it wasn't fully incorrect what Google Translate will give me. So I decided to use German. Also, the entire time of this collection I call them beauty or beautiful. So might as well put that in the title as well. So with a quick search on Google Translate, the collection is going to be called Schönen, or in English, the Beautifuls. And that's when you arrived at me drawing so many O and N. I chose 2 fonts. I matched those 2 fonts together, making the O and the N in the other font. But I wanted the O and the N to be really like a logo, so I designed them myself. So once I had the sketch, I had to switch back to Illustrator to draw it properly. In Illustrator, I simply took the original font, traced it, changing mostly the middle part and the peak of the N, connecting them, making a logo in and of itself. But don't be fooled. I don't know why this part took me so long to make it look proper, and honestly, to this day, I still feel like I can change quite a lot. And not only that, but I was dumb enough to actually do that not within the Schönen word. So when I've put my logo in between the letters, it turns out it didn't really quite work, so I had to tweak it still a little bit. I don't know. You'll let me know what you think about it in the comments. But once I was done with the logo, it was time to move on to the colors. I'd like to put a disclaimer here. I am not a graphic designer, so everything you see here is just me having fun. Why am I saying that now? Because I'm gonna be honest, choosing colors is not my forte. I chose to go with 4 different colors. Why? I have no idea. Don't ask me. 2 are blues because I realized that a lot of my characters are using blue. And then I picked some complementary colors to go with it. Once I chose the colors, it was time to choose the fonts for the body texts. I knew I wanted something much more serious than the fonts that I had chosen for the logo, so I went with Century Gothic font. But okay, once I had all the colors picked up, it was time to choose which color I was going to use for the logo. But I'm not gonna waste a lot of time on that because, again, to be 100% honest, I totally changed it later on. Okay, with all this, it was finally time to design the blind box. I started so confident. I thought I already have the characters, I already have the logo and the colors chosen. I just have to put everything together and it will be done. Oh boy, I was not ready for the future. So as I said previously, I had to change the color of the logo. I don't know, I didn't really like the dark blue, but it took me a while before I decided to go with those pastel colors. Maybe you've realized, but you have the circle behind the Matamata turtle as all the other characters do. And then I had the idea of changing the color of the butterfly with the Matamata turtle and put them a little bit all over it. And that's when the problem started. Because I quickly realized that this box was really bare. It needed more detailed texture because if you look at the blind box, they are always full of colors. That's when I capitulated and decided that I was far from being done. So I jumped back into Photoshop to draw more textures and add some flowers. If you look at the texture, it is the same brush that I used throughout this collection. You can find those type of spots on all the characters. As for the flowers, the colors are the same one that I've picked, maybe a little bit darker or lighter, but very similar. Why I chose flower? I have no idea. But once the flowers were done, I put them back into Illustrator. From then on, everything went really quickly. Because I had many different elements to work with, I simply duplicated them throughout the process. And I was so excited because it was finally time to bring all of our characters on the box. That was an achievement. At first I thought I wanted to put circle behind them to make sure they're visible in the box, but I thought it didn't really work out, so I did the regular white outline around them. I had to black out the secret, the caterpillar, and then the last thing I had to do was to work on the text. I added some other tweaks here and there, added flower, butterfly, put the commercial text like the warning. There's a lot of Easter egg there, so have fun. But with all this, the box was done. This concluded an over 7 weeks long collection. And there's a lot of new friends that came along the way. So thank you to my old and my new subscribers. And don't worry, I already have the idea for the next collection. There's an Easter egg on the box. If you enjoyed this video, please go have a look at all the other videos that we made of the characters individually. But without further ado, let's have a look at this long-awaited blind box. Let's go.